Hi, everyone, and welcome back to JSA TV, where we're covering the latest stories, trends, and innovation from leaders in digital infrastructure. I am Barb Mitchell, and I'm joined today by Paul Ehvert, who's the Director of Virtual Design and Construction for Ehvert Mission Critical.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. Always appreciate the time that you have to talk to us here at JSA TV. And, we're here. It's day one at DCD Connect in London. What are your thoughts so far of the show?
Well, it's, as you said, we're just getting started. So it's great to be here with you and your team at another event. So we are very much looking forward to the rest of the day in the conference. Early on, it's always exciting to connect with peers in the industry. It's such an exciting time to be in the industry. We're seeing so much growth and development kind of at unprecedented levels. Yeah. So it is very exciting to kind of share ideas, talk amongst colleagues and different peers in the industry to see kind of what the emerging trends are as they're evolving so rapidly.
Absolutely. And, I know we were talking that you've been a guest on JSA TV a few times, but just in case any of our viewers may not be familiar with Ehvert, would you mind just giving us just a quick overview of the company?
Yeah, absolutely. So at Ehvert Mission Critical, we specialize in advanced engineering, BIM and VDC, so virtual design and construction services and advanced processes. We only focus on data centers, so we do not work in any other market sectors. Our core focus is on the engineering side, so mechanical, electrical, but in-house we have structural, telecom, controls, all other disciplines. So we really look to be a leader and a point of contact for our hyperscale and colo providers in the data center space so that we can lead them through from the onset of a project all the way to a successful completion and hopefully many completions in the future.
Amazing. And I understand that you just announced a new strategic merger. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, very happy to. And we've been having to kind of tiptoe our way around that merger. I know there have been hints given here and there, but yeah, so we're very excited to announce a strategic partnership with Salas O'Brien, something we've been working on for a long time. Salas is a group where their technical abilities and their workflow really complement what we had been developing for kind of our 30-year history. So with our internal group, we were about 150 people before. With Salas, we're now close to 4,000 people. Wow. So in terms of size, we have grown substantially. But more than anything, it really allows us to deepen our workbench to make sure we can take on more projects from our hyperscale and colo clients. They are moving at such a rapid pace that we need to make sure that we have a workbench that's able to support and continue going with their projects and really make sure that our deliverables for them are staying consistent and at the high quality our clients have come to expect from us. And with Salas too, they focus on many different asset classes. So we're able to really leverage a lot of the knowledge from on-site power generation, which is becoming very relevant to our data center practice, structural on the cold form steel. There's a lot of technical expertise that we're able to leverage kind of both ways. So a very exciting partnership, pretty recent that it's become official, but we are excited to show our clients and others how we can be successful moving forward.
That's amazing news. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that with us. And I'm curious, we spoke a little bit just before we went live. We were just talking about the team and how the reach that you have globally. And I just wouldn't mind adding on to that, just that last question with that. So I understand, obviously, your team has grown significantly and you have additional services and solutions you can provide, but a team is an amazing, important thing. So tell us about that and where are they located and how does that impact how you're able to go to market?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's the merger with Salas that's deepened our workbench, but of course, internally, we're continuing to hire as much as possible. I think one advantage that we have with our virtual workflows, so we do a lot of advanced modeling, simulation, and that work can happen really anywhere globally. In our primary market, we work primarily in the US, is where most of our work happens. We do some work in the EMEA region, Canada, a little bit in Mexico, but primarily in the US. And we were running into a real roadblock in terms of hiring talent in the US. Yeah. We are doing it, but had a lot of challenges, as I'm sure my peers will echo the same kind of comments. So our HR team and our incredible hiring staff have worked a lot in terms of a global outreach. So we've really grown staff counts in Central and South America. We have a strong European base as well. The European base is actually very helpful for our side with the time difference. We actually get a longer production day because of the time difference they're ahead. And more than anything, we're able to find people who know how to use the tools that we're working with. So the workflows, and are familiar with the software we're using. So just because our clients are growing so quickly, we had to get pretty innovative in terms of how we were hiring new staff and finding new staff. So instead of being focused just in the markets we're working on, we're really hiring globally and finding the best talent we can across the globe.
Amazing. Yeah, it's a challenge, I think, to bring in. We're going to come back to that a little bit more, but first let's talk about some of the tools that you're able to leverage at Ehvert, and if you can just talk about how you're continuing to stay ahead on that front.
Of course. So digital workflows and digital construction are core to our practice at Ehvert. So we are not only using it just for the engineering side, but we want to think about the overall construction lifecycle of the data center. So we want to factor into our design, construction, maintainability, schedule. How can we adapt our design? Because just to think of design in one silo, we feel it's not really completing our job as the engineers. We really need to think of the entire project scope. So 4D scheduling to help simulate construction sites to see how we can change our design to make schedules improved. We are also looking a lot at generative design. Generative design is kind of when you give a program a set of parameters, and then it optimizes the site based on code and kind of input parameters. So you're able to give several inputs to generate millions of potential results. This is really helpful when we're working on our campus builds for hyperscale and colo providers, because one building is complicated enough, but naturally we're building sometimes up to 5 and 6 on a single site. And it also helps a lot, I think, as designers, whether we like to admit it or not, we have some inherent biases kind of in our process. So this generative design that we're utilizing really eliminates any inherent biases. And sometimes we end up at the same result as because our team are very, very talented. We end up at the same result, but really helps us work through and vet through all the potential solutions in the design cycle.
Yeah, that's it's as you're talking, I'm thinking about how you've assembled the team with the talent. I mean, you were just saying your team comes to the table with a lot of this skill and knowledge and the ideas, and you iterate it together and come out with such amazing innovation together as a team. And so coming back to the talent question, because you actually talked quite a bit about how you're really trying to get ahead of that talent search and build that out and get ahead of it. But how do you attract those young folks, and what advice would you give to young people? As we think about the young people that are coming out of university and ready to start their careers, what advice do you give them to say this is a path you should follow? So
in terms of, I guess, attracting new talent, we're really focused on strategic partnerships at the university or college level. I say university because we're both Canadians.
Right, yeah.
But at the collegiate level, we have a lot of key partnerships with universities where we're working with professors in terms of research projects that we're getting early involvement. I think the data center space is such an amazing industry to be in right now and has been for a while, and the future is looking really bright. So it's really for us about exposing the next generation to the possibilities and just to make them aware of kind of what's available in our industry. So we're doing a lot of partnerships with universities. We are doing internship programs, so kind of 18-month internship programs in the midst of their studies to help them get involved, become familiar with the workflows. And I think what's been really key for us is leadership and mentorship of our senior staff for our junior employees. I think we have not been as successful in the past when we haven't had our senior team engaged to really show what a path looks like, but that real continued education. So continuing the education, giving our new hires really key roles and allowing them to be key decision makers has been incredibly effective for us. So partnering with the universities, working with them every day, again, through our workflows, lots of scrums and communication. So we really find that kind of open communication, although we are growing to a much larger organization, in terms of our communication and the collaboration amongst all our employees, it's a very flat structure. So there's no kind of barriers between someone who's junior and more senior. We are all working together to really meet the needs of our clients and work on some of the industry's leading projects and globally some of the best engineering projects available.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you. This has been really interesting. I've really enjoyed chatting with you. So thank you for your time today. I know that it's a busy day. There's lots still to do. For any closing words or anything you want to say in terms of how people can connect with you, either here at the show or afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll be down on the trade floor. We have a booth available at the trade floor. We are also serving espresso later. So you did mention that today will be a busy day. So you can find us at one of the espresso stations that your team have very kindly helped us set up, and I think will be popular as the day goes on. But otherwise available through email or all channels. Really enjoy all the discussions we have here at these trade shows, and kind of even those initial discussions that are sparked that go well beyond. Love continuing the conversation with peers in the industry.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. And thank you to our viewers for tuning in again to JSA TV, coming to you today live from DCD Connect in London. Stay tuned until next time.